One of the most intense rivalries to ever come out of Atlanta's rap scene, and one that still doesn't get discussed enough, is the long-running feud between Gucci Mane and Young Jeezy. The tension traces back to 2005, and it was never just about harsh words or music competition. According to widely reported accounts, the situation escalated far beyond typical rap disagreements. Anyone familiar with hip-hop history knows Gucci Mane already had a serious reputation at the time, earning a name for himself as someone people didn't take lightly.
He just looked me dead in my eyes, and what I saw back terrified me. What I was looking back at absolutely terrified me. Gucci Mane is the boogeyman of hip-hop. He is the boogeyman, and instead of boo, he says brr.
One of the most shocking moments connected to this feud came when an alleged attempt was made on Gucci Mane's life. Reports at the time claimed that 5 armed individuals showed up with the intent to confront him. However, the situation reportedly did not unfold as planned. Gucci survived the encounter, and during the chaos, one of the individuals involved later lost his life. These events were later addressed in court proceedings and public statements, making it one of the most serious incidents linked to a rap rivalry.
Another guy had a weapon, hit one of the other guys with a weapon. It became a situation where he defended himself.
Looking at how things played out publicly, many observers felt Young Jeezy took the bigger hit from the fallout. Still, the full story is much more layered. The exact cause of the feud has never been fully agreed upon. Over the years, both Gucci Mane and Young Jeezy have shared different versions, with industry figures like Zaytoven and DJ Drama also offering insight at various times. Despite the conflicting stories, one recurring element always comes up: the record So Icy. For those unfamiliar, So Icy was a breakout song that helped elevate both artists in Atlanta around 2005. At the time, Jeezy was gaining traction locally, still building momentum before the release of Thug Motivation 101. Gucci Mane was also grinding, working to establish himself in the same scene. Seeing potential, producer Zaytoven, who was already collaborating with Gucci, believed bringing Jeezy into the mix could benefit everyone involved. Zay reached out to Gucci Mane with the idea, and Gucci agreed. Zay picked him up, brought him to the studio, and together they created the record that would become So Icy. Shortly after, Jeezy came through, heard the song, and added his verse. None of them expected the track to grow into the cultural moment it became. Once the song gained traction, tensions started forming. By 2005, both artists were preparing their debut albums, Gucci Mane with Trap House and Jeezy with Thug Motivation 101. While both artists have denied actively fighting over the song, industry observers believe the success of So Icy played a role in creating friction. Ultimately, the record appeared on Gucci Mane's album, not Jeezy's. What reportedly made matters worse was the lack of direct communication. Jeezy was said to feel caught off guard by the decision, which fueled frustration on both sides. As people around each camp began talking, speculation and mistrust grew. What could have been a minor disagreement gradually turned into a full-scale conflict. Feeling disrespected, Jeezy chose to respond through music. He released a diss track titled Stay Strapped, where he addressed Gucci directly. One controversial lyric referenced a $10,000 reward connected to Gucci's chain. While some fans saw it as lyrical bravado, others viewed it as crossing a dangerous line, especially given the climate of the streets at the time. When Stay Strapped dropped in May 2005, it made an immediate impact. Musically, it was widely praised, but the mention of money tied to Gucci's chain sparked serious debate. Given Jeezy's known street associations and reputation, many felt the message carried real-world implications. At the same time, Gucci Mane also had a reputation for standing his ground, making the situation extremely volatile. Gucci responded quickly. Later that same month, he released his own diss track, Round 1, making it clear the conflict was far from over. Both sides were now openly addressing each other, and tensions continued to rise. Things escalated dramatically on May 10, 2005. According to court testimony and police reports, Gucci Mane was at his home with a female acquaintance when several armed men allegedly forced their way inside.
He visited a young lady went over to her place. She was there, he was there. At one point, she opened up a door. 5 guys come running in.
Reports stated that Gucci was confronted and threatened during the incident. Claiming self-defense, Gucci said he feared for his life and reacted accordingly. During the confrontation, one of the intruders was shot while the others fled. The woman reportedly escaped during the chaos. The individual who was shot was later identified as Pookie Lock, a rapper affiliated with Jeezy's circle and someone Jeezy was known to have grown up around. Days later, his body was discovered near a school in Decatur, Georgia. The aftermath was immediate. A warrant was issued, and Gucci Mane turned himself in, facing a serious charge. While incarcerated, Gucci gave a phone interview expressing regret and fear, stating that he acted to protect himself. He emphasized that he was not proud of the situation and felt remorse over how things unfolded. Jeezy publicly distanced himself from the incident, denying any involvement and suggesting that Gucci was using the controversy for attention. As Gucci dealt with legal proceedings, Jeezy continued releasing music and experiencing commercial success. On January 17, 2006, Gucci Mane went to trial. His defense centered on self-defense, supported by testimony that the men had unlawfully entered his home and threatened him. The court ultimately ruled in Gucci's favor, acquitting him of all charges. After nearly a year, many assumed the feud had finally cooled off. However, Gucci reignited tensions by releasing another diss track titled 745, which included shots at Jeezy and even brief commentary aimed at Jay-Z. The move surprised many, especially given everything Gucci had just gone through. Jeezy chose not to respond immediately, and for a time it appeared the situation might fade. But in 2008, tensions resurfaced when Gucci collaborated with DJ Drama, a longtime Jeezy associate, on a Gangsta Grillz mixtape titled The Movie. Although DJ Drama maintained neutrality, the collaboration was viewed by some as a betrayal. By January 12, 2009, the strain reached another breaking point. At a screening for Notorious, members of Jeezy and DJ Drama's entourages crossed paths and a confrontation broke out. This came months after Jeezy had publicly criticized Drama for working with Gucci. Finally, on June 15, 2009, Jeezy addressed the situation again through music, releasing the track 2423. The song made it clear that despite the years that had passed, unresolved issues between the two artists still remained. Fans were waiting for Gucci to respond, but surprisingly, he stayed silent for a while. It started to feel like the tension might cool off again. Then, in an unexpected move, on December 4, 2009, Gucci Mane announced a collaboration with Jeezy. The news shocked almost everyone. Few believed the two could put their issues aside, especially considering how serious the situation had previously become. At the time, Gucci was incarcerated, but he called into a radio station with DJ Drama to publicly announce a truce. During the call, Gucci said the situation was bigger than both of them, explaining that the city had supported them and deserved to see unity. He added that they were getting older and needed to grow, saying they should do it for the city. The announcement caught fans completely off guard, but many were cautiously hopeful. The two released Trap or Die 2, and the response was largely positive. On December 15, 2009, Gucci appeared on Big Boy's Neighborhood, reinforcing the truce and promising more music with Jeezy. For a brief moment, it looked like peace might actually be possible. However, that calm didn't last. On March 4, 2010, even though neither Gucci nor Jeezy were present, members of their entourages reportedly clashed, resulting in a physical altercation. Reports at the time claimed that Waka Flocka Flame, who was still building his career and widely associated with Gucci's camp, was involved. Waka reportedly left the incident with a black eye, allegedly from Slick Pula, one of Jeezy's artists. This incident reignited tensions, despite neither artist being directly involved. It highlighted a common pattern in hip-hop disputes, where people around the artists escalate situations even when the artists themselves may be focused on their careers. Surprisingly, after that, things stayed relatively quiet for about a year and a half. There were no diss tracks and no major public confrontations.
Then, on August 11, 2011, Gucci Mane shut down any hope of reconciliation during an interview. He stated that he couldn't see himself ever working with Jeezy again and described the situation as something that couldn't be repaired. He added that they could coexist without crossing paths. Months later, on December 11, 2011, Jeezy appeared on MTV's Rap Fix Live with Sway. When asked about the origin of the conflict and whether it could be resolved, Jeezy made a surprising claim. He said the issues began because Gucci was upset that Jeezy didn't perform So Icy with him. Jeezy explained that he was undergoing throat surgery at the time, something he hadn't shared publicly, not even with his label. According to Jeezy, that misunderstanding grew into the larger conflict. Fans were left debating whether this explanation told the full story or if it reflected Jeezy's perspective. Either way, Gucci had a very different view. In 2012, Gucci appeared on The Breakfast Club and made it clear he had no respect for Jeezy. When Charlemagne asked about possibly squashing the issues or acknowledging each other as legends, Gucci firmly rejected the idea, referencing a past situation he believed put his life in danger.
You guys respectfully ignore each other.
I don't got no respect for him. I just, you know what I'm saying?
Ignore.
I did what I had to do. I ain't nobody a legend. You can see somebody tell them I call you a legend.
True.
What's a legend about that?
This interview took place during a turbulent period for Gucci. He was frequently in the headlines for erratic behavior, intense social media posts, and public conflicts. During the interview, Gucci admitted he felt something serious could happen if he didn't end up incarcerated, either to himself or someone else. 2 days later, Jeezy appeared on Big Boy's Neighborhood to respond. He dismissed the situation, suggesting people shouldn't take Gucci's comments seriously and emphasizing that he was focused on moving forward, not revisiting the past. Gucci, however, didn't see it that way. He returned to the studio and released The Truth, one of the most talked about diss tracks in modern hip-hop. The song was stripped down and direct, with Gucci openly addressing his grievances. One of the most quoted lines referenced an alleged bounty placed on him, which Gucci framed as unsuccessful. Throughout the track, Gucci made several personal accusations, questioned past incidents, and even mentioned R&B singer Keisha Cole. He suggested Jeezy had strong feelings for her during a time when she was allegedly involved with others. Keisha Cole later denied these claims. The track went beyond career criticism and became deeply personal. Jeezy chose not to respond with another diss track, a move many viewed as strategic. At the time, Gucci was openly struggling with instability and substance abuse, which made the situation more volatile. Gucci also escalated matters publicly, including bold statements about confronting Jeezy. In 2014, Gucci Mane pled guilty to possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and was sentenced to 2 years in prison. This period marked a major turning point. During his incarceration, Gucci reflected on his life and decisions. When he was released in 2016, he appeared noticeably changed, healthier, more focused, and calmer. In a December 2016 interview on The Breakfast Club, Gucci discussed his perspective on long-standing conflicts, including those with Jeezy and T.I. He said it didn't consider it active beef anymore, but also had no interest in pretending to be friendly. He explained that they didn't need to interact or be at odds, but he wasn't interested in reconnecting either. The situation remained quiet until April 2020, when Gucci shared a humorous reenactment of his infamous confrontation with Pookie Lock on Instagram. The video, posted with laughing emojis and the caption, "But for real though," reignited online discussion. Later that year, in July 2020, Jeezy appeared on T.I.'s podcast Expeditiously and discussed the possibility of ending the feud. He said it would require a serious, private conversation and acknowledged the business value of moving past long-standing issues. By September 2020, talk of a versus battle between Gucci Mane and Jeezy gained traction. Initially, Jeezy revealed that Gucci had respectfully declined, but in November 2020, fans were shocked when it was officially announced that the two would face off. The battle itself was intense, with both artists playing major hits from their catalogs. However, the most controversial moment came when Gucci performed The Truth, his 2012 diss track referencing Pookie Lock.
Put that in the dirt.
I tell you what.
Smoking on Pookie Lock tonight.
Many viewers felt the move was provocative. especially during an event meant to celebrate careers rather than reopen old wounds. Gucci faced criticism for revisiting such a painful chapter, and since then, the conflict between Gucci Mane and Jeezy has remained dormant. Fans continue to hope it stays that way.